So it is Friday morning, September 13th, Friday the 13th, and got an earlier start than normal. Got a long drive ahead of me to get to my buddy's place, so rather than try to push it by waking up later, I woke up around 6:30 and took care of what I needed to get back on the road. Straightened up a little bit, and it says it's about a 5.5 hour drive. I don't know how long it's actually going to take me, but I'm guessing 7 or 8, because I want to stop at a Walmart on the way out of Canada. I need to also spend the rest of my Canadian dollars so they don't have anything left, and I don't think I'm going to have to worry too much about stopping for scenery, because it is another dreary, rainy day.
Continue 1/2 mile, reach the end of the street, then turn left.
So I am south of Squamish, and it's supposed to be a really pretty drive along the coast here, looking at the bays. But as you can see, the weather is not cooperating, and if the sun was out, that would be even prettier than that looks. But this is actually the clearest that it's been since I started out this morning. So I'm going to be driving through this area quite fast, continue down 99, and still drive along the coast. Maybe I'll see a couple of open spots, but that's pretty much going to be my day, I think. So I decided to come down to this park in Horseshoe Bay just to get a better view before I push through Vancouver, and this is one of the places that I found. This is the first time that I've actually been on the Pacific coast on this trip. I've hit all the coastal states, but never got down to the water. It's so much warmer than the Arctic. That's actually really, really warm water. Holy cow. Since it's the only thing I'm really going to do today, I might as well just walk out there. There's a cool path up to the top of that, so scramble out there, get up to the top, take some pictures, and then head back to the car, and probably just take the fast path into Washington State from here. I just looked at my options, and it looks like I-5 or the border crossing next to it are my best options, but imagine both of them are going to be kind of jammed on a Friday. That is a very slick walk to get out here. So you basically just walk up this rock face to get up there. Looks a lot more like a regular path from a distance. My hiking boots are definitely wearing down, and that was pretty slick. I actually ended up coming up on all fours in some parts. Cool view though, neat area. Up the worst part. Now from here it's just going out to the point. That must be a nice view. So here it is, the very end. Well, not quite the very end. Close enough. That's where I was when I took a picture or a video of this area. That's the point I put my phone away. I slept too many times coming up that. Being back near a city is not something I was looking forward to at all. This is it's gonna be a long few days. I'm looking forward to meeting people, but this, I don't even care to be around cities when I'm back home, and I live in a pretty well populated area, but I am not ready to get used to this again, that's for sure. So I am just above Seattle and made my way through Vancouver and the border crossing, which wasn't real bad. It was about 20, a little over 20 minutes to get through, and then coming down on I-5. I-5 going the other way is a complete parking lot, so I'm glad I'm not heading in that direction. So I'm an hour from my buddy's place, and this is not enjoyable at all. I am already looking forward to getting out of this city area. I'd like to give myself 5 days to get to North Dakota, the eastern side of North Dakota, so we'll see how that works out. I am prepared to just drive all the way through if I have to, but it would be cool to take my time, maybe even pop into Saskatchewan, since that would be my opportunity to do it on my way there, because once I'm in North Dakota I'd have to backtrack to do that. So we'll see how it all plays out, and just kind of go with the flow. But man, I do not miss stoplights and traffic at all. Well, spoke too soon. About 45 minutes from getting there, and now I'm sitting in traffic. Gotta love cities. You can sit here in traffic or pay to go faster by going over there. I'm not paying. Alright, so it is Sunday morning on a dreary day outside of Portland, Oregon. I don't even know where to start, but you know, I didn't film much as soon as I got, well, I didn't film much right outside of Vancouver because of the weather, but once I got to Vancouver, BC, Seattle, and Portland, I really haven't filmed anything, and I guess it's mostly because I can't wait to get out of here. I'm about to meet, though, Nate Zoinks, who I mentioned in another video, and him and I have been in contact on Instagram for a while. He actually gave me some coordinates to a really nice place in Oregon that I stayed one night. So I said if I was ever in this area, I'd reach out to him, and I kind of stuck around a little bit longer so that I could meet him, because I thought it'd be good to do, and just, you know, talk shop and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. But as soon as I meet him, I am out of here. For those of you who don't like cities, you understand, and I'm not gonna, I don't get into politics or anything on this channel, but, and it's not just the politics about these cities, but the politics have created some really bad situations. And one thing that I read about an Overlander is how all the rest stops are completely full at night because homeless are sleeping in their vehicles because they can't afford to get an apartment. And it's true. I mean, I managed to find a place last night at a rest stop because the places are few and far between around the cities. They're tired of people sleeping all over the place in their vehicles and or, you know, just staying there in their vehicles. So there's a lot more rules. There's hardly any overnight places. There are if you find them, but then you read about it, it's like it's by the train tracks. It's on this secluded little alley. It's just not good situation. So a rest stop usually, which is fine for me, is a good place to go. And around here it's not because they get filled up all the time, and they have 12-hour limits, so you're allowed to stay at them overnight. But there was a ton of traffic through them. By, I'd say, 10 or 11, every single spot in the section that I was at was full. And, you know, of course, the bathrooms are really busy. And they even had, all these rest stops have free coffee places, and they give out free coffee. And I don't know if that's just I think that's probably a private organization. I wouldn't think that there's any kind of government stuff behind that, but I got to look it up. Maybe I'll be able to look it up by the time I post this video. But anyway, what I'm getting at is super busy bathrooms. I usually enjoy staying at rest stops, and although the noise doesn't bother me, you know, just having it so busy all the time, like just wanting to use the bathroom, does make it, you know, a little off-putting. But I probably will stay at a rest stop tonight, but it's going to be a lot further away from Portland than I am now. And I've already read about a couple of them, and everybody's like, yeah, it's fine, because everybody's trying to stay within an hour or so of the city so that they can go in and do their job or whatever. But just really interesting. I was talking to my one buddy from work, Greg, and he gave me some highlights about when he worked at Amazon and what it was like just to get to his office. And but it's not just that. Put that aside. It's just I don't like city life. Actually, the highlight of this trip, as far as views, because it's been so cloudy and kind of miserable out, was when I drove by Portland at night. The landscape was beautiful. I mean, just everything lit up, very cool, very nice. And then you think about what comes with that, what's inside there, and then you're like, yeah, okay, it's pretty, but that's it. That's where it starts and ends. But I'm just not, I was never a big city person, and I never will be, and especially after this trip, you know, everybody's in a hurry, and when you do something like I do, or for anybody like Nate, he goes out on weekends and whenever he can. You know, for people like to get away in nature and talk with like-minded people, even if they don't agree on politics, people are just so much more cordial. They're not as hung up and fast-paced and getting here as fast as possible and not wanting to pay attention to anybody. And it's just everybody walks around with their head down, and yeah, it's just I don't know, it's a completely different environment. And I knew that. I mean, I lived in Allentown. That was bad enough for me as it was. And Greensboro is got over 1 million people in the area. You just wouldn't know it because it's so spread out. And it's just, I've always been the type that never really enjoyed being in a city or around a city. And the traffic is number one. I could not do this every day. There's no way. I mean, you waste so many hours of your life trying to get to work so that you can work, and then try to get out of work so that you can have 2 to 4 weeks of time off for yourself if you actually get that time off, because you're probably working in the background. And it's just like the whole circle just stresses me out. And you know, it's just I can't wait to leave. I really can't. And where I'm going through Idaho and you know, Montana and Wyoming and those parts, and I'm going to be away from people really soon, and I'm going to be back in my element. and I'm gonna love it. And somebody even asked me the other day, or people do ask me on occasion, how are you gonna deal with getting back to even where you live? And it's gonna be a very tough transition after a trip like this, very tough. And I'm gonna spend a lot of time trying to figure out how I can do this more often and live with less so that this becomes affordable. And to be honest, without the gas, this is very affordable what I'm doing. So if I was willing to stay put longer, I could easily just do seasonal jobs and just live. But got to figure out how my girlfriend can do this too, and how we can spend more time together, because that's the hard part about all this. Anyway, I'm rambling on, I know. Looking forward to meeting Nate, like I said, but yeah, I don't know when I'll ever come back here. And I used to travel to Portland and Seattle a lot for my job, so I know exactly what it's like. And eating downtown is awesome, and going downtown to hang out at bars is really cool. That's a great vibe. But to live the other 99.5% of your life within that element for that 0.5% of fun is, you know, I just can't see doing that. So anyway, I'm gonna meet him. I'm supposed to meet him at 3 o'clock. I actually left a little bit early. Unfortunately today, and there wasn't anything to do, and I'm not in an area where I was going to drive towards something to try to see something, especially with this cloud cover. So I think I'm going to hit 90 from whatever road I got to take takes me to 90. And from there, I'm just going to stay on the highway all the way till I get to where I cut off to go to Hell Roaring Road on the Beartooth Pass, because I really, really wanted to go to the end of that.